think I was so happy with how far I've come that I haven't like taken it to the next level and actually finished really any of it. It's all just so much better that I had kind of stagnated with, yeah, life's good. It's fine. I can function in this house and not really taking it to a home, make it a home I love. It's just better. And so I was kind of content with that.
Hi, I'm Francine Canfield, one of Jess Marcy's clutter coaches, and it's my privilege today to interview Marie Farley, another coach who works with Jess. And Marie is on the eve of welcoming Jess to her home, and I am a little bit jealous of that, Marie. I'd
I
love
would
to
be
have Jess.
too. It's pretty exciting.
It is exciting. So Jess, I understand Jess is going to be coming to your house to celebrate your successes and to look at the next steps you're going to be taking. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah, I've kind
Okay.
of been stuck a little bit. I think I was so happy with how far I've come that I haven't like taken it to the next level and actually finished really any of it. It's all just so much better that I had kind of stagnated with, yeah, life's good. It's fine. I can function in this house and not really taking it to a home, make it a home I love. It's better. And so I was kind of content with that. So
Okay. Can we back up maybe a little bit and tell us how you came into how you found Jess and what that process was like in the beginning?
sure. Um, Actually, I just was on Facebook. The pandemic was raging. Everybody was home from work, doing work from home. And I was a teacher and doing a lot of Zoom classes. And I just ran across an ad on Facebook for Clutter Boot Camp. And I was like, well, that's what I need, because I was keenly aware more than ever of the clutter because we were home all the time. And so it was like, before you could escape, you could leave your home, you could find other things to do, and you didn't have to be there if you didn't want to be there. And all of a sudden we were stuck at home. And so I just clicked on the ad. I've never since either. Like I had never joined anything off of Facebook. I kind of thought everything was kind of a scam, or like, yeah, right. I'm not, what's this going to be? So I clicked on it, and then I clicked on it on like a Wednesday, and then Saturday night my dad died. He was 94 and was very ready to go, but it kind of threw me for a loop. And I was boot camp was supposed to start on Monday, and my dad died on Saturday, and so we were kind of reeling. And I was thinking, I'm not going to do that. But I had joined and I had paid, and I was like, I'm going to at least see what this is about. And I had no intention of staying past the first day. I was just going to see what it was about and just see if it was legit. And so I
Mm-hmm.
joined the boot camp call. The first day, Jess started saying things that made sense to me and made me think, wow, I think I could do this. I think I can start, letting go of the death grip I have on everything in my house of not wanting to take the action to let it go. And day 2 and day 3, and I kept hearing all these things that made sense to me. They were shocking to me. The one in particular was floor space isn't storage space, because I was like, well, then what is it? Because that's what it is every square inch of my house. So I just started like believing her that, hey, if you take action, if you start doing a little bit, stop the flow in, get the flow out. Just everything that she said made sense to me. And I had tried for years. Every year, my New Year's resolution was, we're going to declutter our house, but we had no tools, no idea how to do it. It all just seemed so overwhelming. Everywhere we looked was clutter. And so I think I just gave up every time because I didn't see any progress. I would make, and we all know that there's temporary chaos, that things get worse before they get better. And my problem was they'd get worse and never get better because I would never continue the process. And so basically I joined, I decided I would put my camera on because that kept me accountable to like pay attention and listen to what this person was saying. And I just fell in love. I was like, oh my gosh, this is just amazing. And so through boot camp, I just loved it. I loved it. And I didn't know enough, to know that she was going to offer something more. I just thought, this is my chance. This boot camp is my chance. And then she offered CBA, and I was like, I am there. This is going to be great, and I haven't looked back. It's just been great.
That's phenomenal that you came on and good for you. I mean, you did that right after your dad died, because that's when that big, one of those big overwhelms does come for us.
Mhm.
And really that overwhelm, and then as you go through the process of decluttering, it's re-railing too, isn't it? Did you find that happening for you?
A little bit. Part of the problem was when I joined, you did boot camp and then you had to wait for the next time that she let people into CBA. And it was like the beginning of the beginning of June, like the end of May. So we had a couple of weeks in there where boot camp had happened and then we had to wait a couple of weeks. And I remember floundering thinking, I thought boot camp would be enough and I would be able to do what I needed to do. And I was excited to get into CBA, but I found myself like needing that community, needing that accountability that the community provided of like posting a picture and getting the rah rahs and way to go, that kind of that encouragement along the way. And so I kind of stagnated for those couple of weeks in between, and then CBA started, and then the whole reason that I do the box a day thing is because CBA started and there weren't assignments. It's all self-paced, and there's classes and you can learn a lot and you can get ideas and figure out what works for you. But I needed the accountability. That's who I am. I needed that accountability. So I just said to Jess, what can we do to for me to kind of have an assignment? Like I need to know that that I need to post to the group something. And so we toyed around with some different ideas, and I just said, well, what if I just get rid of a box every day? And she was kind of like, well, okay, sure, do that. And she probably thought, wow, what? And I was just going to do it for a month. That was my June 2020 goal, was to get rid of a box every day. And I thought, well, at least that's measurable. I hated counting. Counting was not my thing. I didn't like counting the items in boot camp, but I did it because I'm a rule follower. And then I was like, okay, we need to figure something else out. And so we just decided, let's do the box a day thing. And I loved it. It was like measurable. I didn't see results really for probably 6 months, honestly, because the house had so much stuff that even though I knew, my logical brain could tell me you were removing things from your home, it's gonna start feeling emptier. But I didn't see it for a long time. But I just had to tell myself, and there was a lot of encouragement in the group, keep doing it, stop the flow in. I completely stopped the flow in. I don't think I bought anything non-essential for months when I started, just because I was like, that would totally defeat my box a day theory, right? So I just stopped the flow in, kept the flow out, and now I see a huge difference. But for a long time I didn't, but I just the encouragement from the group kept me going.
Well, I think that's probably the secret ingredient to Jess's success is the community crushes clutter.
Yes.
And that's phenomenal. And I think so many people have seen that too. And you will decidedly have. So you've been what, 2 years with Box a Day,
Yes,
which is
December 1st will be 2.5 years.
2.5 years. Incredible. That is fantastic. And so as you've been 2.5 years working with Jess, who's mentor, coach, boss, friend,
Mhm.
how did it come about that she's coming to your house? Because a lot of us would love to have her come.
It started out as just a joke, kind of like we were in a chat with coaches, and we were just talking, and she was saying something. Oh, Gina was at her house for just a powwow. They were just kind of having a brainstorming session about things they could do with the business, and I said, talk about FOMO. I was like, I wish Jess would come to my house, and then she said, well, I can. And I was like, oh no, because when you say it, you're kind of joking. And then she's like, I need to do that, Marie. You need to finish. You need to have this fire lit under you to finish some of these things that, because I've said before, I said I'm not finished with really any room, but I'm happy with I'm happy enough. And she's like, don't just be happy enough, love it. Get it to where you love it, And I was like, she said, what would you say to somebody if you were coaching? You know, wouldn't you tell them to get it, to the point that they love it, not just good enough? And I was like, absolutely. But I wasn't practicing what I was preaching. I was like, just it was so much better that I was okay with it. And then she just really encouraged me, take it to that next level, finish a room, decorate a room, get it the way you really really love it, make it your style. Most of my house is not my style. We bought this house and it was very formal, and it's not my style at all. And yet it was new-ish. It was a few years old when we bought it, and so it was like it felt wrong to just tear everything down and put new stuff up. And so we just, and then it got so cluttered that you can't decorate when there's too much clutter. You can't even get to the curtains to change them. You can't even move. You can't even change the flooring because there's so much stuff. And so now we're at a point where we can do those things. And so I'm excited to do some of that with Jess. So that's kind of how it happened. It was kind of a joke. And she was like, no, I'll do it. I'll come. And I was like, okay.
One
So,
of those jokes that becomes reality and better than you imagined. So
right.
what do you think is going to happen when she gets to your house? What are you thinking about? What do you have to do before she comes?
Well, I'm still, I'm trying to straighten more than anything right now. I've already done a lot of the decluttering, but there's still temporary chaos in several areas. And so I'm just trying to kind of do some final, I have a pickup every week, a donation pickup scheduled. I have for the last like several weeks, and I had a dumpster that I finally got. I knew our city did that, but our city will bring and leave a dumpster at your house for 2 weeks, really for free. You pay $60 to have them take it to the landfill, but they don't charge you for it. And so I was like, this is amazing. And I would never even looked into that. I would have never even thought of that. But it was nice to just get some of the stuff that was just hanging around that was hard to get rid of, a lot of stuff on the patio and just things that were just messy looking. So it was nice to have that. And then I've scheduled donation pickups once a week, every Tuesday morning. I have a scheduled pickup. And so as I'm going through a lot of the stuff that I thought I wanted to keep, I'm now thinking, I'm now at a point where, well, I kept it, and I've kept it for 2 years now since I started. And I've gone to it a few times and used a few things. I'm trying to just be really mindful of what did I use when I went to that box? Did I, and save those things because I'm using them. And the other things, okay, I've held on to them for 2 years and not even touched them. So it's easier now to let go. It's hard to let go of stuff when you first find it. It's like, all right, I have this. I forgot I had that. But now that it's been in a box and I've known where it is, it had a home, a temporary home, but it had a home and I knew where to get to it. And almost anything my family asked me, where's blah, 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 I could go right to it. It's not its permanent home because I never finished. I never got the piece of furniture or changed out a piece of furniture or moved stuff from a cabinet to actually finish, but it's good enough, And so I'm trying to get not just good enough, but really where we love it. And it's stuff that we actually really use, not that I thought we would use. Because I did ask myself questions like, does this serve my life today? Is it worth keeping? Does it deserve a spot in my home? And the answer then was yes. And as I'm going through it now in a different place mentally, the answer sometimes is no. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with letting go of it now. And I couldn't have earlier. So it's just a different stage of the process.
Right. Because we become more self-aware through the decluttering,
Yeah.
not only of stuff, but of our feelings and
Mhm.
toward those items that we have. And then we change, and then we start moving our house to a home that we really, really love, which
Yeah.
is what you're preparing to do with Jess. So
Mhm.
I think it sounds like a wonderful opportunity you're going to have with her.
Mhm.
And as I said, I think all of us are a little jealous. And so she's coming in what, 8, 9 days?
Yeah, around then. The last Monday of November. She'll be here Monday through Friday after Thanksgiving.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Well, Marie, we are looking forward to the post visit interview that you'll have, and
Thank you.
wishing you a wonderful, wonderful time with Jess.
Thank
So
you. Thank
you're
you.
welcome. Thank you for sharing all this, because we're all community, and we love watching each other change
Yes.
and
Yes.
find the homes we love. So that
Yeah,
sounds
and I
great.
think even bigger than anything that's happened in my house is how I've changed, like with how I allow people to treat me and how I allow like things to happen in my life. I'm much more proactive in saying something, speaking up and that kind of thing. So I feel like honestly, in some ways, that's more of a transformation for me than my home. Even though I'm super happy with my home, I feel like so much more of the transformation has happened inside of me. So, and I just love this community. I love coaching, and I love, just everything it's brought into my life. It's been amazing.
Well, I've loved working with you too and continue to do that too. So thanks again, Marie.
Thank you.